Hello everyone, this is Jack and welcome back to my channel. We are on the last day of the lagoons at the Barreirinhas part of Lençóis Maranhenses, and man, as I keep editing these, I'm actually getting better at pronouncing these, so I gotta say them out loud more. Anyway, we are at our hotel and we're gonna have one more evening here before we head back to San Luis. And just in case you haven't gotten tired of watching all of these sunsets, I also have additional drone footage for you courtesy of my father that he has gifted us from both sides of the Maranhenses. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we are going to start with breakfast. There's a lot to see and eat because it's a buffet and lots of people at this time. Good morning, everyone. Today is day 2 of the other side of the Maranhão Park. So we're going to a different lagoon today, and hopefully it'll be a better experience than yesterday with the guides. Honestly, start with this side first and then head over to the nicer, more pretty Arabian Smooth Nights side because no umbrellas, no chairs, no water, just ice, and really self-entitled guides who think they are the customer. Oh my guys, this is the Maasai. So before we were going to climb really tall hills of sand dunes, we are actually scheduled to do a massage the day before just to kind of ease us into everything, and that was the opening that they had for all of us. So my parents went first and then it was my sister and my turn. So of course, while I waited, I had some time to flow and enjoy the nature scenery. It was super windy all day, as you could see in the trees. It was so windy that the fountain was literally blowing water into my eyes, and the only way I could see was because I was wearing sunglasses. Didn't want to open my mouth because yeah, it was hitting me in the face like rain, but that's okay because it looks good, right? I hope. So speaking of the massage, my sister's shoulder was so bad and covered with mosquito bites that they didn't really want to touch her very much, and they put a bunch of ointment to kind of heal her because I swear it looked like smallpox. No offense, sis, but yeah, it was pretty bad. Crunch. Okay, so it's just like lightly coated on the bottom with sand, which is fine. At least this one has shade because the other pool doesn't have shade. Lots of hawks. Side.
Oh, okay. So they probably just pull it out. And then... Okay. Do you have hand? No.
I do. Oh, fine.
I'm not gonna use hand.
Ooh. Want some lettuce? Cute. These are different, Mom. I really love it when people use recycled materials or materials that you could repurpose to make new things. You want blow or you want turbo? I could have sworn there was another Lagoa Bonita on the other side, but I think this is the OG, like the one that everybody knows. And there's a circuit that has a bunch of chained lakes that have beautiful views, but you gotta climb this hill or take the stairs next to it. So it's a single file line kind of situation, and I was okay with that. It wasn't too bad. There we go. Literally, one side is all forest and one side is all sand, and the sand is the one that's kind of encroaching on the forest, but it's so cool to see both sides. This is the top of where you could see everything and the start to choose your own adventure / lake. All the guides were barefoot, and some even drove barefoot to get here. But you really don't need shoes. In fact, they kind of hinder you walking. So, I mean, have them for the road, but once you get to the dunes, feel free to be barefoot. I'm gonna voice over most of this because it was just so windy and you can't even hear me speak for most of the time, but it's okay because you can just enjoy the scenery, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I feel about both sides now that we've seen all of it. Also, I couldn't talk much because look at this sand. It is literally blasting at your shins, and then when you're sitting down, it's going into your mouth. So yeah, be prepared for that. Also, bring sunscreen. The sun is really strong and it reflects off the surface of the dunes, and so you're getting hit all over the place with rays, which is fine. Oh, also including the water, because water also reflects rays. And yeah, just reapply, wait the 15 minutes, 20 minutes before getting into the water, and you'll be fine. I thankfully didn't get burnt this trip. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but honestly having a light scarf to shield your eyes and mouth wouldn't hurt if you're not in the water. Or if you're not submerged in the water, maybe it would help too. I don't know. That's what people from the desert use, right? I know it's what we did at Burning Man. Look at how crystal clear the waters are, and the waves are kind of rippling because, like I said, the wind is really strong. But anyway, I'm going to put the footage of the drone from the Santo Amaro side, which is the last 2 to 3 recap videos that I did on Brazil. So that's part 3 and 4 that have already been uploaded to YouTube with Santo Amaro in the titles. And then parts 5 and 6, which is the Barreirinha part, which is the east side, is going to be right after that. And then I'm going to jump back to my footage of the sunset because it's going to look super different. We're in the Barreirinhas part now on Lagoa Bonita, but I just want to show you the comparison between the two. So I know I have said such good things about the Santo Amaro part, the west side, which is the first part that we went to, and it's because it was just like a park. It was a national park, you got to explore, it was smaller, etc. But it felt magical. It felt like I was in a different world, and maybe it was because it was the first time we went into the parks, and so it was just so gorgeous to look at. But I don't know, I just felt something there. I do have to say the pros of the Barreirinha side is really beautiful if you have the drone shot. Like the aerial views, you can't really beat that. They have wave curvature patterns of the lakes that chain together that really make this place very unique, and you don't see that type of formation as much on the Santo Amaro side. So although I enjoy visiting the Santo Amaro side as a visitor and a tourist, the Barreirinhas side is really what you want to see if you have drones, because that's the breathtaking landscape panorama that you could see on postcards and what Brazil uses to showcase the place. As you can see, this side has longer strips of water, although they are shallower, so you really have to go find spaces in the lake that are deeper, which I did find. I had my own private beach on one of them because I walked all the way to one of the ends and found a place that had a slanted angle underwater, and I was able to go all the way to my neck. Anyway, this is also kind of previewing the sunset, but it's okay because I want to show you all the crescent curvatures, and my dad did a pretty good job at flying this thing at such a high altitude when the winds were crazy. So we were able to find it even though we lost it a couple times in the air. We had to bring it down because we lost visual on it, but yeah, it's all part of the fun, and it landed safely all times. I also really love how the sunlight kind of has color on one side of the dunes, and then there's a gradient of shadow on the other side when the sun is setting. It's just so pretty. It almost feels like it's being lit by magic. Also, the roads in the forest area look so cool. They look like veins, or like, you know how in The Last of Us they have all of the fractals that the fungi make? It kind of reminds me of that, and it just comes to show you that like nature is pretty consistent wherever she grows. Yeah, you could see the water kind of running on the surface because of how windy it is. And so the adjustment on trying to make the drone stay level at this time was really difficult, but we did what we could. All right, and we have the representation of the drone landing here, and we're back to my footage. My dad was trying to land on the blanket, but close enough, right? I think we only spent like an hour and a half here, and then it was time to get ready for the sunset. So all along the ridges, people will line up to kind of get their view without other people's heads, if possible, to see the sunset. So this was different because previously we would have to drive to a place that has a lake and the sun setting in the same direction. That's just our preference. We asked our guides to give us a view based on their knowledge of each of the places. But this time, because everything is so spread out, we were able to catch the view where we were already. I actually left my family here because they wanted to stay at this lower level dune, and I wanted to go to where the majority of people were viewing the sunset. So I went to one ridge over and I was able to catch this, which was super gorgeous. This guy was also enjoying the view and trying not to be blown away. You know how there are really wealthy people who want to colonize other planets because they want to be the first to touch ground and live out in that wilderness? Well, I am one of the few that would love to stay on planet Earth. I love this planet so much, and I feel such a connection to it that I am willing to stay here for the rest of my life, and probably countless lifetimes should it still be habitable. This looks unearthly, but it is our home, and so we have to do our best to take care of it. I know I sometimes go into a ethical monologue about the environment, but it really is limited resources, and although there are countless of people trying to find better ways to be sustainable and to, clean trash and reverse global warming if possible, I think that if everybody pitched in, we could live a better life everywhere. But that's like asking for world peace, and we know that that's never gonna happen because there are just those individuals that like to use 100% of their free will in the opposite direction. The goddess rays here! Oh my gosh, so beautiful! What's going on over there? Oh, it's tiny. Maracujá caipirinha. How is it? Same. Have some, have some, have some. Alrighty, so a week has officially gone by while we have been in Brazil, and today is the last day at Porto Preguiça. So we're going to head back to São Luís at this time and stay at the same hotel, which we will see in just a bit. Lol, I'm gonna leave the chair, the cup chair where it is. Oh yeah, that's more like it. Woohoo! Mom's car. Technically, I meant mom's love. But anyway, I'm gonna fast forward through the countryside to get to Luceros, which is where we were going to stay again. And this time, we stayed on a lower floor and didn't have a balcony, but c'est la vie. Today, we were just going to get some groceries and not to cook, but actually like nuts that are usually really expensive, like Brazil nuts and cashews that you can't find easily in the US. And we were gonna bring them to Sao Paulo before we ended our trip because I think they were going to be a little bit less expensive here. Also, the trip took about 4 hours on the way back, so half the day was kind of gone.
No balcony, but pretty good view.
The side where the city was actually pretty nice. All right, we took an Uber to the grocery. Costco of Brazil. Whoa. Monica. Wow, so green. Damn, bro. Look at that. Whoa. Picnic. What? Okay, they got like a whole aisle though. Oh, beans. Okay, but still, this is more than 99 Ranch. Zingo. This kind of sounds, You want some Jesus guarana? You want your chips to taste like steak? Or hot peppers and shrimp? Wafer chocolates. Oh, they're doing things like Kit Kat now. White chocolate, lime, inverted, black. I don't know what that means. What else they got? It smells so good. What the hell? Yum, 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 yum. Dare to hope. Cookies. Bruh. Yeah. Wow. Damn. These are also the canned. What are they trying to say, huh?
Pascal.
Wait, move. Cheddar and bacon.
Nossa.
This gum is like Gushers where it has sugar liquid inside. Can't be great for the teeth. Dang, that advertising and Netflix money, bro. Yeah, so every time we go to a new country, that's one of the things that we get are snacks and other things that we can't find because they're local to that country. So when we went to the Philippines, we also got snacks, if you remember our grocery shopping trip there. And they're great gifts and very affordable to gift to other people as a pasalubong, which is a gift when you go somewhere and your coworkers are like, oh, how was it? And you're like, hey, I got you something. And then it was time to go to the beach. We only had been viewing the beach from our rooms and from the hotel lobby, and so we had to find a off-road way to get down to the beach because there were no steps that were close to our hotel because they don't want, I guess, general public to get to the pool area. I don't know. Anyway, we walk around on the shore picking up shells and looking at rocks for the sunset, and this is going to be such a difference between today and tomorrow's sunset. Tomorrow we actually get to view some kite surfers, and we'll see more of that in action up close then. in the next video. How stunning is this sunset? I love how the clouds are just kind of breaking where the sun is going down, and it's literally reflecting on all the pools of water, including the ocean. The waters are super crystal clear here as well, and it just makes me think about how I am lucky in California, but I'm like, how clean is this water really? Because there's just stuff that's dumping into the shoreline, and I don't know where it's coming from, and it's gross. And no thanks. Anyway, I love how pastel and soft this other side of the sky is, rather than the intense orange and yellows that are meeting the deep blues where the sun's just set. Such a great ombre effect, if you will. It was windy again, but I feel like the wind was also a lot softer than the blistering harshness of the desert, and you could see that in my hair here. The colors actually get richer as the night comes over the sky, and it's just so pretty. I really need to go outside more, especially when I'm home in California. So this evening we were actually gonna go to the left of the hotel if you were facing the ocean, and we were gonna go to a strip that has a lot of nightlife, restaurants, and watering holes that is local to San Luis, and it's right on the water. Tomorrow, when we see the kite surfers, we're gonna go right, which is where all of those flying, parasailing, colorful kites are that are actually holding people. The weather is literally perfect, and the sunsets are unreal. So blessed. Thank you, universe. A painter would really go to town on all of these colors. And then it was time to walk over. It took us about 35 to 40 minutes maybe to get to that strip that we were talking about, because we had reservations to a restaurant in the middle of everything. I really enjoy watching the sky turn dark because the lights of the city start to sparkle and it illuminates where you're walking. And so it's kind of like a magical runway that appears in front of you, if you will, if you want to romanticize your life. Water still reflects the light.
That's a big ass pizza.
So dinner was going to be at Numar Restaurant, and they specialize in seafood, meats, desserts, and good drinks. The atmosphere is usually praised for being sophisticated yet welcoming, and it has beautiful beachside views. Guests often note fair pricing and value, especially regarding the executive menu and well-portioned dishes. This place is not only great for date nights, but it's also awesome for big groups, and I've never seen this before in a restaurant, but they have a playroom for kids so that they're not being disruptive in a nice setting, which is genius. They have shelves of decor that are neatly spread out and really cool underglow lighting, which also is represented at the bar. See, speaking of painting, look at how beautiful this ocean view is on the menu. And then because we got a bottle of bubbles, our server actually didn't let us pour our own glasses, even after she put it in a bucket of ice to keep it cool. Huge. Wow. It's not good luck to do the water.
Happy hour.
Very spicy.
Mapila. Is it because we're they think we're Japanese?
What's Mediterranean?
No, that's not Mediterranean. That's Italian.
They have prosciutto.
Wow. So cute. That's poppin', man. Shit. Whoa, look at that. That's great. No littering, guys. And you can wash your feet next to it. little boxes with the plant. The bitch. And the vodka.
Water, pressure, bro.
Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. I leave you with this awesome view of the shower. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share so that other people can learn more about Brazil. Subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when I have new content out. I post every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. You can follow my socials down below, and until next time, keep curious, everyone. Jack out.